Hi, I'm here with the wonderful Kira Sutherland, who was a fantastic author for Sports Naturopathy, Chapter 10 in ACNM. Hi, Kira. How are you going?
Hi, I'm really good. Oh, good. I'm excited. It's finally happening.
I know. It's been a big process, but your chapter is just fantastic and so comprehensive. So I'm so grateful that we can include it.
Oh, grateful to be asked to do it.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about yourself, though. What's your background?
I'm Australian-American. I was born and raised in the US but came here at quite a young, in my 20s. And I am a naturopath that was always heavily involved in sports. So when I kind of started practicing, I really wanted to combine the best of, what I knew really well kind of came out with how I was clinically practicing. So then I went on and did postgrad studies in sports nutrition and really turned it into my own little naturopathic sports nutrition kind of, I guess that's my background. An athlete. I was not fast. I did not go to the Olympics. I played every sport possible. Had some well, some not. And so I kind of lived and breathed sport my whole life. So it was a melding of all my passions.
It's definitely such a gap, though, in our profession. I mean, you're it. There's no one else that's an expert in the combination of sports nutrition and naturopathy, and you've bridged the world so beautifully. And you're doing some further study in this area with a PhD, I believe.
Yeah. So I am working on master's/PhD, although it's on hold this year, so I can't legally say I'm working on it at the moment due to other extenuating circumstances. But there was, when I did naturopathy and nutrition, there was, sometimes you could take classes in sports nutrition, but it's very dietetics based sports nutrition, and it was fantastic. And doing my further study, I wasn't in dietetics, but it's in that genre of sports nutrition. It was amazing to learn how that was happening in the fueling of the body, and it's very different from how we do holistic, naturopathic style nutrition, and then trying to find where they intersect and meet and how they can be used. And you have to throw out some of the naturopathic ideas, but you have to be more gentle with it, because you're dealing with people like their sports cars and how to fuel them. It's not always under the same principle. So it's an interesting mix, and it was a complete accident that I ended up being kind of at the forefront of it in our industry, or it was just hard work, or I don't know. But I love it. I love doing it, and the chapter itself, sports nutrition really should be a whole book. I remember calling you and being frustrated, not knowing how to write it. And so we did a lot of the beginning of sports nutrition, and then I tried to teach a lot through the case studies. The case studies are actually really robust in that chapter, because that's where I think as practitioners of natural medicine, we learn the best.
No, I totally agree. But I think you bring a really valid point in, because it's interesting I keep talking to the different specialists in their areas. All of us have had to literally pull naturopathy apart and rebuild it for our specialties. And I think that's what makes you a specialist. It's that you have learned how to create a new way and a new path with a particular specificity or a special area. So, it's amazing. And I know when we were working on you writing that chapter, it was such a challenging one, because you had so much, and there was so much that needed to be said, and we've definitely included as much as we can, but it's definitely a specialty, and you've mastered it, you've created it. It's not like you.
Yeah. And the funny thing with a specialty is you actually kind of have to sit on a fence between two worlds, right? A lot of the really technical reproductive chapters, I'm sure, are the same. There's that pure, like for me, there's a pure sports nutrition, and then blending it into how you use it as a naturopathic practitioner is, it's an interesting soup to make.
It is. It is.
Yeah. But fun to have to push yourself to do that. But it could have either been this long or, really big.
The balance.
We did. Through a bit of stress, but I did.
No. It's all good. But how did naturopathy find you? Because obviously with your athletics and sports and everything, that's an easier path to sort of understand how it found you. But how did naturopathy find you?
So I originally went to university in the States, and I started studying nutrition and dietetics. And then I took a bit of a break from studying, much to my parents' delight. But I was actually living in Europe, and working in a totally different industry, and I got really sick, and modern medicine helped kind of patch me up. And then I had some other issues, kind of more chronic stuff going on. And I was introduced to a German naturopath, and she really taught me. I was already very into my nutrition, but she taught me this whole world of, I remember going, oh my gosh, herbs. There's herbs for all these ailments. The earth grows things that help us. I'm like, that makes so much sense. How did I not see that before? And so she really opened my eyes to, God, naturopathy, herbal medicine, even homeopathy and fasting, actually. My introduction to naturopathy was 3-week, hardcore kind of Buchener method fasting, which just was a radical shift in my mindset. I'm not talking water fasting. I'm talking juices and broths. And this is 30 years ago. And it just, the minute I found out about it, I was like, that's it. There's my job. I know this is it. This is what this is beyond just nutrition, and I need to be doing all of this. So it was my own crisis. I did grow up in San Francisco in the 70s, so there was alternative around. So I was always open. I'm born from two scientists, or a scientist and an engineer. But the sprinkling of San Francisco alternative was always, I guess that was the icing on my cake or something. I don't know. And so it all kind of rolled together.
Beautiful. It would have been an amazing upbringing, though, to sort of incorporate it all.
Oh, it was hilarious. One of my mom's best friends was, quite alternative. So I got the good blending. And I didn't realize everybody didn't go to camp and tie-dye their underwear and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Nothing to do with the scientist that I am, but yeah, it's okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Where to from here? What are your plans at the moment, and what are some projects that you're working on and things?
Plans. Too many plans, not enough days. I'm trying to create 21 days in the week. I lecture at the undergrad level. I love doing that, but I do run online and sometimes face-to-face mentoring groups, specifically for practitioners or about to graduate students in sports nutrition, kind of naturopathy. So really teaching them the tools. What else am I doing? Get back to my study. And I am partway through. I'm not going to it's not a book specifically for practitioners or laymen. It's kind of in between a book on health and all the different cycles in our life and health. So there's a book brewing at the moment. Give me another year.
Okay, we'll talk in a year. You can tell me then.
Yeah. Not so textbook clinical. I'll leave that to you to orchestrate those. Much more manual of working with your health on a daily basis, just in a different slant that's not that common. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. And what do you think, in your heart of hearts, what is it about your journey here as a naturopath? What do you think you're contributing? What are you hoping to achieve with life from it all?
Oh, such a great big question. What am I contributing? I am trying to I'm contributing taking science into, and naturopathy and alternative medicine or complementary medicine, but taking all of that and making it less confusing into really simple bites. I think that's one of my big contributions about how I teach, whether it's my students or my clients, making it, digest in an easy, digestible form. I think I'm here, to really kind of, I think I'm here as a teacher. I think that's my big, whether it's clients or students, and really inspire people and get them excited about taking care of themselves. And I probably have another better answer to that, but it's not coming.
No, I love it. I think it's perfect. I mean, from what I know of you both as a friend and as a colleague, you're a teacher.
Yeah. I think I'm a teacher's teacher. There we go.
You are definitely a teacher.
Yeah, a teacher's teacher. I think that's where I get my most excitement. I like cultivating people to find their own balance.
Beautiful. Well, we're very privileged to have your chapter in the textbook.
I was very privileged to be asked to do a chapter in the textbook. That was a most exciting email to receive.
So we look forward to it, and I know that you're going to make a huge impact, because access for everyone to the sports naturopathy principles and structure that you've developed and created, I think will just have such a wide impact. So it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Thank you.